Yo, that's Tick from the Young Phenom. Nakamaya officer. You know what I'm saying? The 5K. You understand? This is. I'm right here. You know what I'm saying? I'm right here. You know, I'm all up in your TV screen. You know, with that boom bop beat. You know what I mean? All right. First and foremost, we want to give Kal Halal Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. That's all praise to the Most High God. In the name of His only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, Yahweh Shai HaMashiach in the Hebrew. Because we them Hebrews, you know. Whatever, Professor Reggie? The Hebrews. The Hebrews. You know, that's what we is. You know? So, yeah, man, y'all got to check that out. You know what I'm saying? That's the Young Phenom. You know what I'm saying? Officer 5K, Nakamaya. You know what I'm saying? Song Tick. You know, I'm about to come out with a remix called Talk. You know what I'm saying? Talk. And then he just in the background, Tick. Talk. You know what I'm saying? Alright, let me chill. We in the bill. Rock it, don't drink, and rock it, don't smoke. You know what I'm saying? Rock is no joke. Yeah. Oh, whatever, man. Y'all whack. Alright. So, we are here again. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to let y'all keep getting into the room. You know, when we get about 70 people in here, we'll start. If we don't start in the next 5 minutes with 70 people in here, we're just going to end class. All right? Y'all got to show me y'all want this. Yeah. 14. We have 14. We have 14. I know Tenyos know what that's talking about. 15. 15. We almost there, y'all. You know, just need about 60 more of y'all. I said 75, right? 100. We need 100. 100 people. People trying to go home tonight. These are 100. Hey, we looking for 100 righteous white people. You know what I'm saying? To tune in tonight. Y'all don't tune in tonight. There go the hot. That's 3 white people all in one. You know what I'm saying? You know? LA hot. You know what I'm saying? All right. Like you said, it was making me look weird. They got the deep dish couches and stuff. Huh?
One pillow and
Bro.
y'all would be too.
You know what I'm saying?
$50 up.
Yeah, I have to put an extra one on. Yeah.
That's that captivity couch.
That's that captivity couch. I thought my couch was scary. All right. So we're gonna continue with the lesson that we had last time. So we went from 15 down to 12. All right. Forget y'all. We're done. Cut it. All right. So we're gonna continue with the lesson we started last week. You know, we were doing a little bit of edifying towards the middle of our lesson. So instead of hold y'all here for a whole 3-4 hours at one time, we're just going to continue where we left off. You know, you all see the title. We're talking about keeping the laws of the land. Now, once again, that's one of those things that you always hear people say. You hear different camps might say it. You know what I'm saying? It's an ideology that people are pushing. But then they seem to forget their forefathers that chose to keep the laws of the Most High rather than the laws of men, right? You know? Could you put the Cash App part in, Orange? fire. All right, so where we at? That's fuego. You know what I'm saying? Trying to stay upbeat. You know what I mean? You know, I'm getting a headache because of that room right quick. Let me get Romans 3, verse 1 and verse 2. Because this is what matters, right? And that's why, like, all praise to the Most High. People watch. For those that watch, that are able to take something away from the classes that we have. You know, Long Beach put this stuff together. You know, for the edification of our people. You know what I mean? You know, and that's what's important. You know. Whenever you're ready, go ahead.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 3 and verse 1. What advantage then hath the Jew? Or what profit is there of circumcision?
Yeah, what advantage then hath the Jew, and what profit is there of circumcision, right? Go ahead.
Much every way, chiefly, because that unto them were committed the oracles of God.
And that's it. That's the whole point, man. The oracles of God were given unto us. It wasn't the laws of China, the laws of Japan, the laws of East India. That's not what was given to us. The laws of Bangladesh. You know what I'm saying? If you anybody watch the movie Mumbai? You know anything about Mumbai? You gotta watch that. Mumbai is where the Taj Mahal is. Anybody remember what happened at the Taj Mahal? You're military. You don't remember? Wow. Okay. Remember the Taj Mahal. You had I'm gonna say Pakistani or Afghani. You had Middle Eastern people, Muslims, right? I'm not knocking their religion. It is what it is. What they did was they orchestrated a plan where they got on rafts, went to Mumbai, right? And then they started their slaughter in the train station. Yeah, when they went to the hotel. Yeah, that's the Taj Mahal. Is somebody gonna have to move? Yeah? Khan, the Water King. So that was in Mumbai, right? And what happens is they shoot up the alright, that's fine. So they shoot up the train station, then they bomb the cafe. Now everybody's running to the Taj Mahal. They get to the Taj Mahal, they're shooting everybody in the Taj Mahal, right? And I bring that up because one of the things that was stated there was, what is the purpose? When they're at the hotel, they say stuff like, at the Taj Mahal, the guest is God. You know what I'm saying? That's how they treat them. So the way they move, the guest is God. That's how important the guest is to the people that work in the Taj Mahal. All right. So that I'm saying that to say, like, in a sense, that's the type of law they keep in their mind. So you're not gonna see us doing that. We're not gonna say the people we serve is our God. You understand? Because that's what they're saying. So that goes for everything. When it comes down to keeping the laws of these lands, we're keeping these laws based off of the fact that we assume that we're a part of that land. We're a part of that government. We're a part of our voice counts, right? So read that again.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 3 and verse 1. What advantage then hath the Jew, or what profit is there of circumcision?
Uh-huh.
Much every way, chiefly because that unto them were committed the oracles of God.
Yeah, man, because the oracles of God was given unto us. Let's get Daniel chapter 3, start from verse 1. We're going to do some reading today. You know what I mean? Daniel 3. We're going to start at verse 1.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 3 and verse 1. Nebuchadnezzar, the king, made an image of gold, whose height was 60 cubits, and the breadth thereof 6 cubits. He set it up in the plain of Dura, in the province of Babylon. Then Nebuchadnezzar, the king, sent to gather together the princes, the governors, and the captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces, to come to the dedication of the image which Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. Then the princes and governors and captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces were gathered together unto the dedication of the image.
Where you at?
Nebuchadnezzar, verse 3.
All right, read it again.
Then the princes, the governors, the captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces were gathered together.
Provinces. But
Provinces
It's all good.
were gathered together unto the dedication of the image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up.
Now, what was going on? Nebuchadnezzar set up an image, right? And now all these people are gathered around this image, right? Go ahead.
And they stood before the image that Nebuchadnezzar had set up. Then an herald cried aloud, "To you it is commanded, O people, nations, and languages, that at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet,
The
cornet, flute,
the flute,
harp,
the harp, the
sackbut,
sackbut,
psaltery,
dulcimer,
dulcimer, and all kinds of
When
music.
you hear the music playing, that's all it's saying. When you hear that music playing, go ahead.
Ye fall down and worship the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king has set up."
This is the law. It's the law of the land. See, they want you to believe that you can keep Esau's laws. So I'm guessing that we supposed to do that as well when we were in that place. You see how that worked? Go ahead.
Verse 6. And whoso falleth not down and worshipeth shall the same hour be cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace.
That's the judgment. If you don't keep the law of the land. If you don't keep the law of the land, you will be punished. So don't get it twisted. The law, the land that you're in has laws. Nobody wants you to be put into that fiery furnace. But guess what? When you stand for the Most High's laws, you're not focused on their laws, especially if their laws are going to cause you to go off. Like, for instance, let's say you become a judge. And the law states that a man and a man can now be married. You are now forced, based off of the law that you believe you need to keep, to marry them. Because that's your job. It's called the justice of the peace. Right? Or just go into any courthouse and filling out the paperwork, and then they do the ceremony right there. Right? They have to do it. They work for the government. It's against the law for them not to do it. Go ahead. That's why when it's a private owned business, when you go inside of a business, it can say, we have the right to refuse service to you. See, that's another way of saying we ain't serving you niggas. You know what I'm saying? or anybody that might come in there that's rowdy, but it was initially for y'all, right? The Hateful Eight, Minnie's Haberdashery, right? Remember that? What? What? Yeah? Yeah? No? The Hateful Eight? Quentin Tarantino? Samuel L. Jackson?
Yeah, God, yeah.
Remember, he said, there's no reason why a Mexican is in here. It says no dogs and no Mexicans allowed. Man, y'all want to watch movies? What? Anyways, I get it. I must have a bunch of free time. Whatever. All right. The Hateful Eight. You gotta start watching the movies, bro. Yeah, man. What was the parody called? Hey, listen. I don't know what movie you watching. It was what? Netflix, huh? Skinamax. The Lovable Eight. Anyways, yeah. Where we at? Go ahead. Hey, let me tell y'all something, man. Y'all gotta grow up. You know what I'm saying? I gotta grow up. You know? What verse?
Verse 8.
7.
No, we finished verse 7. We're on verse 8.
Yeah. Con.
Verse 8. Wherefore, at that time, certain Chaldeans came near. And
Remember, where's the land of Chaldea? Babylon. You know what I'm saying? Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon. Right? And that's why today you're in Babylon. You know what I'm saying? So let's say we say this is twofold now. They doing all these things now. They say y'all gotta worship, but we say y'all gotta worship. Y'all gotta go to these churches, or you won't be patriotic. You gotta have a flag in your house. You gotta remember elementary school? This is what you call indoctrination. Everybody remember elementary school? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. You face the flag, and you're pledging your allegiance to a country you know nothing about in elementary school. You're pledging your undeniable allegiance to a people that don't care about you. And then guess what? Because you're indoctrinated from that age, then you end up in the military. See how that works? Because you pledge allegiance for so long. What else am I going to do? Listen, when I got to California in 2010, I didn't know what to do. It got to the point where I went to the Army recruiting office. You know what I'm saying? And you know, they were like, you know, it's because you have tattoos on your hands, you know, that you're not going to be able to, we won't be able to take you. And I'm thinking to myself, but y'all take anybody. You know what I'm saying? I thought this is what people do. They go to the military. Me, I needed a steady income. I needed a trade to learn. I figured that was the only way to do it. You know? Instead of some minimum wage job. But the Most High had different plans for me. So, of course, man, that was a way out. I had a homeboy back in Florida. He got arrested, and they said, you know what? You can go to jail, or you can go to the military. You know what I'm saying? He went to the military. That was the options. They tell you this. These are the options. Go to jail, go to the military. You know what I'm saying? You went to the military. So, you know, that's just how it is, though. That's just how it is. So, keep reading.
Verse 8.
We were talking about pledging allegiance. Read.
Wherefore, at that time, certain Chaldeans came near and accursed the Jews. They spake and said to the king.
Hold on. What? Accused.
Accused. I said a curse.
You said a curse.
Okay.
Yeah, he thought you were Paul, not a Benjamite. Read it again.
Wherefore, at that time, certain Chaldeans came near and accused the Jews. They spake and said to the king Nebuchadnezzar, O king, live forever.
O king, live forever. Hey, that's what they used to say. O king, live forever. Even Daniel was respectful. Even Daniel was respectful. O king, live forever. You know? And listen, man. If y'all think that you have to be disrespectful to your enemies, you're wrong. You ain't got to go through all that. You know their fate. Your disdain for them only, come on, sis, you come on in. Your disdain for them is only going to create more problems for you. You understand? Because the Most High set it up how he gonna set it up. Right? Khan, go ahead.
Verse 10. Thou, O king, hast made a decree that every man that shall hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp.
Remember, hold on now. Look up the decree. Look up the Hebrew word for decree right there. The blue letter for that. You gotta go up a little. Okay. A decree, a taste, a judgment, command. All right. Go down. Yeah. It's a commandment. Right? Now, go back. Oh, well, keep reading. You can go back. Yeah. Come on.
Verse 10. Thou, O king, hast made a decree that every man that shall hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music, shall fall down and worship the golden image.
That was the decree. That was the commandment. You got to worship this golden image. Go ahead.
And whoso falleth not down and worshipeth, that he should be cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace.
Go ahead.
There are certain Jews whom thou hast set over the affairs of the province of Babylon.
Listen, he said, and now they're sitting there like, y'all, you got some Jews out here that you put in power. This is the book of Daniel. Who are the Jews that he put in power? I'm not asking you. Nah. Anyways, you about to read it anyway. I'm like, yeah, I just want to know if they knew their names. You know their names? What's it? All right, whatever. Yeah. Belteshazzar. Go ahead. Go ahead. You don't know yet?
Verse 12. There are certain Jews whom thou hast set over the affairs of the province of Babylon. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These men, O king, have not regarded thee. They serve not thy gods. They serve not thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up.
See? Go ahead.
Then Nebuchadnezzar.
Leave it up to these people in 2021. They'll tell you, you got to worship that stuff. Why? Because that's the law of the land. That's the decree of the land. That's the commandment of the land. You got to do it. Keep going.
Then Nebuchadnezzar, in his rage and fury, commanded to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Then they brought these men before the king. Nebuchadnezzar spake and said unto them, Is it true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? Do not ye serve my gods, nor worship the golden image which I have set up? Now, if ye be ready, that at what time ye hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the image which I have made. Well, but if ye worship not, ye shall be cast the same hour into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. And who is that God that shall deliver you out of my hands?
And Nebuchadnezzar knows our God. He know our God. He's seen our power. That's why Daniel is in the position he's in. You understand? But, hey, keep reading.
Verse 16. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this matter. If it be so, our God, whom we serve, is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of thine hand, O king.
They still call him king. Go ahead.
But if not, be it known unto thee, O king, that we will not serve thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up.
Go ahead.
Then was Nebuchadnezzar full of fury, and the form of his visage was changed against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
That's like him being like this. What? Yeah. Niggas is crazy. What? Go ahead.
Therefore he spake and commanded that they should heat the furnace 17 times more than it was. That's it.
Hey, listen. So your God gonna do what? Alright, heat it up more. Go ahead.
That they should heat the furnace 17 times more than it was wont to be heated.
Listen. You niggas rather serve your enemies than serve the Most High. If you're telling somebody that you have to keep the laws of the land over the Most High's laws, you're crazy. You're crazy. We know that. Why you think? See, because people be like, "Oh, why you not putting homosexuals to death?" Let me tell you something, man. Y'all forget why Christ came. Y'all supposed to be all about the Bible. Christ is telling us, just like Moses told us, we gotta have mercy, right? And with that mercy, you just gotta hope that these people repent or turn their life around. You understand? That's it. You know, this isn't our land. Us doing what we would have done in our own land is not gonna benefit the land of America. You understand? Because the Edomite is still a homosexual. The Asian is still a homosexual. You understand? It don't change nothing. We can't purge the evil out of our land. This ain't our land. You understand? So, Christ knew we would be in positions where we couldn't do these things. So that's why it's always going to be about mercy. You understand? You don't go take the matter into your own hands. Have mercy. You know? Go ahead. And that's another thing why Christ said, you know, you got to forgive them in order to be forgiven. Right? That's the golden rule of the scriptures. That's the golden rule of this walk. Forgive them so that you can be forgiven. What's the sense in you not forgiving them, but hoping that the Most High forgive you of your trespasses? That's not why we pray. Yeah, but we talking about the Lord's Prayer. Let's give it up for this guy, guys. You know? Go ahead.
Verse 19.
Y'all would have just sat there like this. Where you at, Alpayak? Listen. He just be standing at the thing. No expression, no nothing. Yeah. And just keep looking straight. Go ahead. All right. He talking stuff in the chat? I bet he is.
Verse 20. And he commanded the most mighty men that were in his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and to cast them into the burning fiery furnace. Then these men were bound in their coats, their hosens, and their hats,
Yeah, they were bound in their coats, their pants, and their hats.
and their other garments, and were cast into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Therefore, because the king's commandment was urgent, and the furnace exceeding hot, the flame of the fire slew those men that took up.
Listen, you know what I'm saying?
Ooh, that was hot.
Listen, 7 times what it originally was gonna be, and all they did was walk them there, and they burnt. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
And these 3 men, Slakia, the flame of the fire slew those men that took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And these 3 men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell down, bound into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Then Nebuchadnezzar, the king, was
Astonished.
astonished. Why say astonished? Astonished.
Nah.
Man,
It means the same.
like,
Yeah. Don't look at me like that, man. I read those.
And Nebuchadnezzar the king was astonished, and rose up in haste, and spake, and said unto his counselors, Did not we cast 3 men bound into the midst of the fire? They
Now watch. He said, didn't I cast 3 men into that fire? You know this story, right? I ain't talking to you. You know this story? You know this story? I don't think so. Then they probably did. Yeah, then they did. Anything spectacular and powerful, TBN, the BS network. All praises, you learn from it, huh? All praises. Yeah. It's supposed to be African. Go ahead. Could you imagine if they did an Asian one?
I'm trying to see if they do any other race.
Listen, just like I told y'all last week, when we were talking about Japheth and Samson. They had a Japheth play Samson. You know what I'm saying?
Brad Pitt played the last Mexican.
That part. You know what I'm saying? You know? Listen, a Mexican. Yeah, Shia LaBeouf played a Mexican. Mexican gangster.
Shit, Tyler Cruz played the last samurai.
Listen, you know what I'm saying? You know? Charleston Heston played Moses. You know? Bette Midler played Coretta Scott King.
Robert Downey Jr.
Are you serious?
Robert
Nah.
Downey Jr. did
But
blackface
that
for
just
all
goes
of
to
us.
show you.
Wow.
But that just goes. Listen. But that just goes to show you how far they're willing to take it to where everybody in history was white. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no people of color in history.
What's that movie? Robert Downey Jr. did blackface the whole movie.
Oh, you talking about? Man, don't talk about that movie, bro. That's one of the greatest movies ever made. You talking to me this whole time?
So Martha Stewart played Harriet Tubman?
Nah. Hey, listen. Martha Stewart played Harriet, right? See what I'm saying? Yeah, he talking about Tropic Thunder. Yeah. Drink booty sweat, y'all. That's for Brandon T. Jackson, who in the truth now. Drink booty sweat, y'all. He's like, hey, you say, tell me about that girl you in love with. You say Lance. You say what? I said Nance. I said Nance, man. Go ahead, where we at?
I got it.
Don't tell Brandon T. Jackson I'll come. Never mind. That's
Did-
plausible all day.
Did we not cast 3 men bound into the midst of the fire? They answered and said unto the king, True, O king.
True, O king.
He answered and said, Lo, I see 4 men loose, walking in the midst of the fire, and they have no hurt.
Listen, 3 men went in there. When they looked, it was 4 men in there. Not burning at all. Keep reading.
And the form of the 4th is like the Son of God.
Who was in that fire with them? Yahushua. Ain't that something? The angel of the Lord. Well, I mean,
It was 2 or 3 gathered now. Right?
listen. I hope Shaquad watching. Go ahead. Shaquad, you watching? You said when 2 or more gathered in his name. Look at Batakia laughing, but he don't even know what anybody talking about. But go ahead. You don't be on the calls, Zach. I'll be on every call.
Verse 26. Then Nebuchadnezzar came near to the mouth of the burning fiery furnace and spake, and said, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, ye servants of the Most High God, come forth, and come hither.
Come out of there.
Then Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came forth of the midst of the fire. And the princes, governors, and captains, and king's counselors, being gathered together, saw these men, upon whose bodies the fire had no power, nor was an hair of their head singed. Neither were their coats changed, nor the smell of fire had passed on them.
Man, they was protected on another level, right? Go ahead.
Then Nebuchadnezzar spake and said, Blessed be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who hath sent his angel and delivered his servants that trusted in him, and have changed the king's word and yielded their bodies, that they might not serve nor worship any god, except their own God.
Go ahead.
Therefore I make a decree, that every people, nation, and language which speak anything amiss against the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Even the Most High said it for us. Shall not no man, nor shall not no heathen. Let me get it. Yeah. Exodus 11:7.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 11 and verse 7.
Wait for it.
But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know how that the Lord doth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel.
Right? We don't act like them, and they ain't us. All right, back to Daniel. So even the Most High said it. They shouldn't say nothing about us, not even about our animals. Go ahead. Daniel 3:29.
Therefore I make a decree that every people, nation, and language which speak anything amiss against the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego shall be cut in pieces, and their houses shall be made a dunghill, because there is no other God that can deliver after this sort.
They knew. Keep going.
Then the king promoted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the province of Babylon.
All right. Now, show me where they kept the law of the land. Niggas joker. Daniel 6. Start from verse 1. Reading the whole chapter again.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 6 and verse 1. It pleased Darius to set over the kingdom 120 princes, which should be over the whole kingdom, and over these 3 presidents, of whom Daniel was first, that the princes might give accounts unto them, and the king should have no damage. Then this Daniel was preferred above the presidents and princes, because an excellent spirit was in him, and the king thought to set him over the whole realm. Then the presidents and princes sought to find occasion against Daniel.
Just like with Joseph, just like with Moses, you know what I'm saying? These brothers were second in command. Go ahead.
Concerning the kingdom. But they could find none occasion nor fault.
Read that again. Read verse 4 again.
Then the presidents and princes sought to find occasion against Daniel concerning the kingdom.
Why? Because you got this heathen over us. We're the heathens. You understand? You got this Jew, this Israelite over us. And we're your people. You understand? Go ahead. So they looking for something to convict Daniel on. Right? Read. They trying to throw this man in the furnace. They trying to convict them. Right? They say, hey man, go ahead.
But they could
jump the gun. Oh, well.
But they could find none occasion nor fault, for as much as he was faithful. Neither was there any error or fault found in him.
He was blameless in the sight of men.
Then said these men, we shall not find any occasion against this Daniel, except we find it against him concerning the law of his God. Then these presidents,
read that again.
Then said these men, we shall not find any occasion against this Daniel.
We're not gonna find anything that Daniel's gonna do. Go ahead.
Except we find it against him concerning the law of his God.
But we can figure out a way to get him to break the laws of his God. Go ahead.
Then these presidents and princes assembled together to the king, and said thus unto him, King Darius, live forever. All the presidents of the kingdom, the governors, and the princes, the counselors, and the captains, have consulted together to establish a royal statute, and to make a firm decree that...
let's look up a royal statute. Let's look up statute. A decree, a statute, huh? And a rising in law. Alright? Go up. Go up more. Etymology, the root word. Establish, set, to set up. Con.
Verse 7. All the presidents of the kingdom, the governors, and the princes, the counselors, and the captains have consulted together to establish a royal statute and to make a firm decree that whosoever shall ask a petition of any god or man for 30 days, save of thee, O king, he shall be cast into the den of lions. Now, O king, establish the decree and sign the writing that it be not changed, according to the law of the Medes and Persians, which altereth not. Wherefore,
Which what? Which what?
which altereth not.
So when they do a decree, that don't ever change. You understand? Go ahead. Just like the amendments in America, like it's difficult for any of those things to change. They just try and work around it. You know what I'm saying? Just like the Second Amendment is the right to bear arms. Is that the Second Amendment? Yeah. You know, or freedom of speech. It's freedom of speech until you harass somebody, then it's not freedom of speech. You understand? You can have you can own a gun unless you've done something wrong. You understand? So these are their amendments, but there's ways of getting around them to where they don't work in your favor. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead. That part. The 13th Amendment. You know what I'm saying? You're not allowed to have slaves in America unless you commit a crime, and then you can serve slavery in jail. Welcome to America. You know what I'm saying? Only in America. What Stan Marsh said? I thought it was America. Dang. Yeah, when he was fighting the Batman, Bat Dad. I thought it was America. Oh my gosh. Ugh.
I remember this. Last one.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Why is it I got like 5 people watching my class right now? Man. It's all good, Chief. I got you. Go ahead. Hey, at least this is on. Hey, we're here. We're doing the work. You know what I'm saying? All praises.
It's under the play.
Hey, shalom from the deep. Con. Chief class on. So, he gave me a shout out in the officer chat. Yeah. Go ahead.
Verse Daniel 6 and 9. Wherefore King Darius signed a writing and a decree. Now when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he went into his house.
Hold on. Y'all catch that? Daniel knew this law. And he intentionally went home and did what?
He went into his house.
Listen, man, hey, y'all can keep that Christian bullshit that way. Use my language. Keep that religious stuff that way, man. Because at the end of the day, you're not really understanding what's going on. And I'm going to show you, because we're going to pull Romans 13. We're going to pull the scripture that they pull that says you got to keep the laws of the land. I'm going to pull it. And I'm going to tell you what it's really talking about. Go ahead.
He went into his house, and his windows being open in his chamber toward Jerusalem. He kneeled upon his knees 3 times a day, and prayed and gave thanks before his God, as he did aforetime. Then these men assembled, and found Daniel praying and making supplication before his God.
And what?
And making supplication before his God.
Read 11 over again.
Then these men assembled and found Daniel.
Go up again. Go up one more verse. Go to 10.
Now, when Daniel knew that the writing was signed,
because he's second in command. Daniel knew the writing. Like y'all are really trying to come after me, right? He was the real Mr. Untouchable. You know what I'm saying? Not Nicky Bond. You know what I'm saying? Not the next dude, the Godfather, whoever his name was. You know, John Travolta. Gotti. Yeah. Go ahead. Read.
he went into his house.
You gotta start that over. Verse 10. You there?
Now when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he went into his house, and his windows being open in his chamber toward Jerusalem. He kneeled upon his knees 3 times a day, and prayed, and gave thanks before his God.
See? He did this on a regular. He opened his windows, faced Jerusalem, and made supplication, and prayed unto the Most High 3 times a day. Go ahead.
as he did aforetime.
As he's always done. Because, like they said, we got to get him on something that he does towards his God. So what was the decree? That you don't make any supplication to anyone except for that king over the next, what? What is it, 60 days? 30 days, right? So he had to not pray for 30 days. And Daniel went to his house, opened up the windows, faced Jerusalem, and started praying. Keep reading.
Then these men assembled and found Daniel praying.
Because they can see through his house. I can see you, bro. I'm watching you pray, man. What are you doing? Got him. You know what I'm saying? Got him. Go ahead.
And found Daniel praying and making supplication before his God.
Uh-huh.
Then they came near and spake before the king concerning the king's decree. Hast thou not signed a decree that every man that shall ask a petition of any god or man within 30 days, save of thee,
Except for the king. Go ahead.
O king, shall be cast into the den of lions?
Now, y'all remember this story? Daniel in the lion's den. Go ahead.
The king answered and said, the thing is true.
See, the king was hesitant, right? Because he already went up against the God of the Israelites and didn't prevail, right? On top of the fact that Daniel has been in a higher power, as well as Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego are over the different provinces as well. So he's aware of the God of Israel, right? So that he's hesitant. They're coming to him like, well, you made a decree. Remember that? And he's like, yeah, I remember. Go ahead.
The thing is true, according to the law of the Medes and Persians, which altereth not.
Uh-huh.
Then answered they and said before the king, that Daniel, which is of the children of the captivity of Judah, regardeth not thee.
He don't regard you. He ain't checking for what your decree was. Go ahead. They telling him this. You know? Bro. Sound like, yeah, listen. Go ahead.
That then answered they and said before the king, that Daniel,
That nigga,
which is of the children of the captivity of Judah,
because remember, Judah, that's why y'all got to remember, only the southern kingdom was in Babylon. You know what I'm saying? So when you get to further scriptures and it talks about, you know, the daughter of Babylon and y'all will be saved out of Babylon and this and that. Come on, man. Talking about everybody. All of Israel. Right? Northern and southern kingdom. Right? Go ahead. That's a different thing for a different time.
regardeth not thee, O king, nor the decree that thou hast signed, but maketh his petition 3 times a day.
But he makes his petition 3 times a day. He prays to his God 3 times a day. Go ahead.
Then the king, when he heard these words, was sore displeased with himself.
He wasn't displeased with Daniel because he knows that's what Daniel does. But he's just like, you know, I let these niggas talk me into writing this decree. You know what I'm saying? Hey, like it said earlier in the chapter, the decree that by the way of the Persians, it don't change. It don't, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead. Yo, yeah.
And set his heart on Daniel to deliver. And he labored to the going down of the sun to deliver him. Then these men assembled unto the king, and said unto the king, Know, O king, that the law of the Medes and the Persians is, that no decree nor statute which the king established may be changed.
Read that again? That what? No decree or statute?
That no decree nor statute which the king established may be changed.
Hey, that the law of the Medes and the Persians, that no decree or statute can ever change. Right? Go ahead. So he has to do what he said he's going to do. Daniel has to go into the lion's den because of the decree that was written. Right? Go ahead.
Then the king commanded, and they brought Daniel, and cast him into the den of lions. Now the king spake and said unto Daniel, Thy God whom thou servest continually, he will deliver thee. And a stone was brought, and laid upon the mouth of the den. And the king sealed it with his own signet.
And the king sealed it with his own signet, right? Go ahead.
And with the signet of his lords, that the purpose might not be changed concerning Daniel.
So, hey, it has to be done. Go ahead. This is the law. You get caught with the ratchet, you got to go for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Then the king went to his palace and passed the night fasting.
Hey, listen, the king, you know what I'm saying? He fasted. Listen, hey, the Most High say he'll make your enemies be at peace with you. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Neither were instruments of music brought before him.
He wasn't trying to hear none of that. This is not a joyous occasion. I'm in somber right now. I'm in. Listen, keep reading.
And his sleep went from him.
He couldn't sleep. He couldn't even sleep.
Then the king arose very early in the morning, and went in haste unto the den of lions.
He got up. As soon as that light hit, he got up. He straight to the lion's den. And what'd he do?
And when he came to the den, he cried with he cried with a lamentable voice.
Daniel! Daniel!
And the king spake and said to Daniel, O Daniel, servant of the living God,
servant of the living God,
is thy God, whom thou servest continually, able to deliver thee from the lions?
He just couldn't wait to hear his voice, bro. Go ahead.
Then said Daniel unto the king, O king, live forever.
I'm chilling. Go ahead.
My God hath sent his angel, and have shut the lions' mouths, that they have not hurt me. For as much as before him innocency was found in me.
I was an innocent man. Go ahead.
And also before thee, O king, have I done no hurt.
And I haven't done anything to harm you. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Then was the king exceedingly glad for him.
He was happy, man. Read.
And commanded that they should take Daniel up out of the den. So Daniel was taken up out of the den, and no manner of hurt was found upon him, because he believed in his God. And the king commanded, and they brought those men which had accused Daniel. And they cast them into the den of lions.
Damn. See how that worked? Yeah. Remember we talked about earlier? You know what I'm saying? Listen. You got scriptures on. Listen. That's how that worked, bruh. The same judgment you wanted to place on me, you'll be judged by that.
With extras.
And some. Just remember, y'all in the Dragon, right? Y'all remember when I read Bella and the Dragon? That's why the stories are so good, man. When you read Bella and the Dragon, nigga, the husband, the wife, and the kids all had to die for eating that food, pretending to be pretending to say that it was the god that ate all the stuff. So worship the dragon. Bro, go ahead.
Verse 24. And the king commanded, and they brought those men which had accused Daniel, and they cast them into the den of lions. Them, their children, and their wives, and the lions had the mastery of them, and break all their bones in pieces.
Now, why didn't the Most High is such a loving God, why didn't the Most High save them little kids? Save them little waterhead babies.
It was heathen.
You know, That's why people gotta understand, man. It ain't. People gotta get that stuff out their mind. They gotta stop thinking that the Most High is for everybody. Go ahead.
Them, their children, and their wives, and the lions, and the lions had the mastery of them, and break all their bones in pieces, or ever they came at the bottom of the den. Then King Darius wrote unto all the people, nations, and languages that dwell in all the earth, peace be multiplied unto you.
Now, when you all know that when it says unto all the earth, open up that word for earth, it's a ratazah. It can just be land. Watch. Or in the Yiddish, it's eretz. All right. Go ahead.
This
The
is
earth,
Strong's
the world, the
H.
ground. Yeah, they can see it too. Yeah. The earth. Yeah. Go ahead. The ground. Yeah. All right. Come on up. Go ahead.
Verse 25. Then King Darius wrote unto all people, nations, and languages that dwell in all the earth, peace be multiplied unto you. I make a decree that in every dominion of my kingdom men tremble and fear before the God of Daniel, for he is the living God, and steadfast forever, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed, and his dominion shall be even unto the end. He delivereth and rescueth, and he worketh signs and wonders in heaven and in earth, who hath delivered Daniel from the power of the lions. So this Daniel prospered in the reign of Darius and in the reign of Cyrus the Persian.
All right. Now. Yeah, see? You didn't say shy as mute me right quick. All right. Let's get Romans 13 and 1. Let's get Romans 13 and 1.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 13 and verse 1. Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of God. The powers that be are ordained of God. Whosoever therefore resisteth the power, resisteth the ordinance of God. And they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation.
Keep going.
For rulers are not a terror to good works.
Rulers are not. Keep going.
But to the evil, wilt thou then not be afraid of the power? Do that which is good, and thou shalt have praise of the same. For he is the minister of God to thee for good.
For he is the minister of God to thee for good. Context, right? I want to hear that the so-called white man is the minister of God to thee for good. Right? That's how it go. Your oppressors are the minister of God for us for good. You know who? You know they put this in the slave Bible. That our oppressor. That's why it says servants obey your masters. Because they are the minister of God for us for good. They are, that's why they say that they can tell you what's right and wrong. They tell you the moral compass in which you should have. That's why it's such a twist. That's why he show you all these things, because they can say that and then they can break the laws at the same time. And so that gives you the right to break the laws. That's why you can eat those gummy bears with the pork gelatin and not the turkey gelatin or not the beef gelatin. That's why you can go into these stores and, you know, there's a corner store in every block in our neighborhoods. And you know the kids, you know, as kids, we love them sweets. So what do you think we was eating? Jello, gelatin. You understand? Listen, a lot of the things we eat and we consume is detrimental to our walk. But because we were in the world, we didn't know these things. You understand? Go ahead. Go back to the top of that. Now I'm going to break it down.
Romans 13 and verse 1. Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers.
Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers. Right? Go ahead.
For there is no power but of God.
There is no power but of the Most High. Go ahead.
The powers that be are ordained of God.
And those that have rule over you are ordained by the Most High. Example, Chief has rule over me. What he say, I do. Because he was ordained over me. Plain and simple. I don't have no quarrels about it. I don't have no mess-ups about it. I don't trip about it. He's younger than me by almost 10 years. I'm not bothered by that. Because even when I came into this walk, I said, you know, he's younger. I said, but guess what? All my life, I've been living like this. So if the Most High set this man up to be a leader, then that's what I'm going to do. Because if he's pushing me towards here, then where else I'm gonna go? So the age didn't matter to me. Because on the side of him, there's another older gentleman. So how much more order are you in when you know, Yahushua was 12 years old teaching the doctors and the lawyers. These are biblical teachers. You understand? So these are the things you got to look at. You don't, you know, it'll be crazy to look at a man for his age and be like, I'm not going to do what you say because you're younger than me. That don't make no sense. I don't care how old I am. That nigga was doing it longer than I even knew this truth. So that's how it be. He ordained those to be over you, right? Let me get keep reading.
Verse 2. Whosoever therefore resisteth the power, resisteth the ordinance of God.
If you resist that power that's over you, you resist the ordinance of the Most High. Go ahead. Because because those that have rule over you are ordained to be in that position. When you married, you're ordained to be in a position you in to rule over your rib or ribs. You understand? That's your position. Now, if she don't want to get in line, so be it. That's on her. That's not on you. You're not at fault. You don't die because she didn't want to get on the program with the Most High set up. You got to seek the Lord with fear and trembling. You got to make your calling to election sure. You can't make your calling and election sure for her. That don't make no sense. You got work to do. She got work to do. Just like when your kids become of age, they got work to do. That's why we hope that us being in this walk, that we can learn to train up our children in the way that they shall go and they shall not depart. That's the hope. But our kids are destined for whatever they're destined for. We just pray that we continuously push what's right for them. Go ahead.
Whosoever therefore resisteth the power resisteth the ordinance of God.
Uh-huh.
And they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation.
Uh-huh.
For rulers are not a terror to good works,
For rulers are not a terror to good works. Go ahead.
but to the evil.
But to the evil. Go ahead. That's why you might, that's why you might have brothers yelling at brothers for wrongdoings that they doing. You know what I'm saying? Because we against evil. Right? Go ahead.
Wilt thou then not be afraid of the power? Do that which is good, and thou shalt have praise of the same.
Uh-huh.
For he is the minister of God to thee for good.
He is the minister of God to thee for good. Read.
But if thou do that which is evil,
But if you want to be a wicked ass nigga, go ahead.
be afraid.
Be afraid.
For he beareth not the sword in vain.
Uh-huh.
For he is the minister of God, a revenger to execute wrath upon him that doeth evil.
All right. Let me get Colossians 3 and 22. Because they say you got to obey your oppressor. Obey your oppressor.
This is the book of Colossians, chapter 3 and verse 22. Servants, obey in all things your masters according to the flesh, not with eye service,
Not with eye service,
as men pleasers,
as men pleasers.
but in singleness of heart,
Uh-huh.
fearing God.
Fearing the Most High. Read that again.
Servants, obey in all things your masters according to the flesh.
Servants. We are all servants. Someone that is over you is your master. Right? This ain't no weirdo stuff. This is what is the word for masters in the Greek? Huh? Cult leader. Kyrios. Cult leader. Where we at? Go up, man. All right. Lord, Master, Sir. Right? Go down. He to whom a person or things belongs, about which he has power of deciding, right? The possessor and disposer of a thing. In the state, the sovereign prince, chief. All right. It is the title of honor. You know what I'm saying? Expressive of respect and reverence. Right? That's all it is. In this context, that's what it's talking about. Right? So that's why we say, you might have hair brothers say, Khan, I don't want Khan. You know what I'm saying? That's yes, Lord, yes. You know what I'm saying? Or sir. Adawan is Lord, sir. You know what I'm saying? So people hear these things and they just, with the extras. Go ahead.
Servants, obey in all things your masters according to the flesh.
Those that you respect according to the flesh. Right?
Eye service,
Not with eye service.
as men pleasers, but
Don't do it to please no man, but do it for what?
in singleness of heart, fearing God.
Fearing the Most High. Let me get Ecclesiastes 10 and 4.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 10 and verse 4. If the spirit of the ruler rise up against thee, leave not thy place.
If the spirit of the ruler rise up against you, leave not your place. Listen, I'd say this on a regular, and people run from it. If the spirit of the ruler, use it in your house. Hey, listen, I don't care how many arguments you have. Check yourself, woman. You know what I'm saying? If the spirit of the ruler rise up against you, leave not your place. Because as soon as you start reacting, and doing all that extra, but da-da-da-da. Guess what? Read.
For yielding pacifieth great offenses.
For if you shut your mouth, you're going to pacify great offenses, because once you start running on and you start doing all the extra talking, now you're going off. If the spirit of the ruler rise up against you, leave not your place. For yielding, let me get it in another translation. For yielding pacifieth great offenses. Let's get another translation. Bibles. Hey, don't outshine the master. Hey. Listen, we'll read the NLT. If your boss is angry at you, don't quit. A quiet spirit can overcome even great mistakes. NIV. If a ruler's anger rises against you, do not leave your post. Calmness can lay great offenses to rest. Right? Go up. Hold on. Go down. Keep going. Keep going. NASB 2:0. If the ruler's temper rises against you, do not abandon your place, because composure puts great offenses to rest. Right? The YLT. If the spirit of the ruler go up against thee, thy place leave not, for yielding quieteth great sinners. Now watch. That's another thing. You not saying something is gonna cause that man to check himself, or you know what I mean, or that person to check themselves, right? So if you start saying something and I hit you with, you shut the fuck up. If you don't say nothing, I'm gonna have to check myself, because I'm wilding out. You understand? So that's why I say, if the spirit of the ruler rise up against you, leave not your place, for yielding pacifieth great offenses. You know what I'm saying? All right, where we at?
Verse 5.
Nah. Hebrews 13:7.
This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 13 and verse 7. Remember them which have to rule over you, who have spoken unto you the word of God, whose faith followed, considering the end of their conversation.
Remember them which have rule over you. That's all it's talking about. It's not talking about your oppressor being over you. Right? Let me get Matthew 23, 1 through 3.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 23 and verse 1. Then spake Jesus to the multitude and to his disciples, saying, the scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. All therefore...
Hold on, Slakia. Hebrews 13 and 17. Where are we at just now? Hebrews 13 and what? 7? 17.
This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 13 and verse 17. Obey them that have the rule over you, and submit yourselves.
And submit yourselves.
For they watch for your soul.
They watch for your souls. Obey them that have rule over you. All right? Submit yourselves, for they watch for your souls.
As they that must give account, that they may do it with joy.
That they may do it with joy. Don't give that person that has rule over you a hard time. You know what I'm saying, Devin? Don't do that. Go ahead.
And not with grief.
And not with grief. Why?
For that is unprofitable for you.
Because that man that's over you has to make an account for your soul. Right? And you don't want him to have to speak on your behalf and be like, man, that nigga's just, oh, God, man, the way this nigga deal with things. You know? If it ain't one thing, it's another, man. You just keep going up. Can't get right. All right? Matthew 23. That's what we said, right? Yeah, 1 through 3.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 23 and verse 1. Then spake Jesus to the multitude and to his disciples, saying, the scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. All therefore, whatsoever they bid you observe.
Everything they tell you to do it. What they bid you to do, observe. Go ahead.
That observe and do.
Observe and do, read.
But do not ye after their works.
But don't follow after their works. Don't do what they do. You understand? Go ahead.
For they say and do not.
For they say and do not. Right? That's what it's all talking about. Servants, obey your masters. Obey them that have rule over you. You know what I'm saying? Hebrews 13:1, whatever it said. You know what I'm saying? But that's what it boiled down to, right? Anybody got any questions about what we discussed? What's up?
I just want to know if this goes back to that.
Which one? The same verse we were reading? Matthew 23 and 17? Hebrews 13 and 17. Bring it out again. Of course, you still got rule over her. You know what I mean? You still got rule over her.
I got a question.
What's up?
When it says leave not your place, that's just talking about not bucking up, whoever's over you, not literally,
Yeah.
yourself
I
up
mean,
in
it mean
situations.
keep your composure.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, the easiest way to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Shaquai. You know? We dwindled down to 11 viewers. You all have been great. I pray we don't have these multiples going forward. You know what I'm saying? I like to get one lesson done per thing. You know what I mean? You all continue to tune in, continue to put in this work, push forward in your walk. You know, this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. It ain't about who gets there the quickest. It's about getting there together. What happened? Huh? Oh yeah. Cash App. Get your urban guerrilla wear. You know what I'm saying? URBN, GRLA, right? Get your gear from there. Deegan got the scarves. You know what I'm saying? He also got the 613 shirts. This ain't one of them, but you know, if you ever want one of these shirts, you just gotta cross that line. You know what I'm saying? You know, we love y'all, man. You know, we just gonna keep pushing, keep putting in this work, man. You know, 11 turned to 10, so that means people are starting to leave because they know it's over. You know, and with that, I want to say Kahala Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, and Shalom.
Shalom.